Hey, what's going on, guys? So I'm coming to you live with another week of breakdowns. Hopefully, everybody's having a good week. So, just wanted to come on here and basically just talk a little bit about the charts. Again, if you guys don't know who I am, Breaks Trades, aka Blake, and I run the Talented 10th Discord. So, again, been trading for about a decade now, and um, basically teach people how to do what I do. And really, mostly, I've just been kind of trading on my own. Um, I started in the forex space, moved to futures a few years ago. Have not really looked back since. So, want to talk a little bit about some of the chart works going on today. And before I do that, I'm actually going to go to Forex Factory and walk through the week. So this should be a pretty standard trading week. If you look at what's going on, because I always do this, I never start with Forex Factory. So I want to start here first. If you look at the week, you can see Sunday there's not really a ton of news. Tuesday, not really a ton of USD red folder news that's really going to drive the market. Wednesday, we have core CPI. Then Thursday, we have PPI and CPI news. So Wednesday, Thursday could be very volatile, right? And then Friday, going into Friday, there is um, some more news. So again, CPI and Tuesday and Wednesday are really probably going to be the main best days to trade. We know, I know I've had a chance to run a lot of stats on my own trading the past couple months and basically be able to take all my trades and upload them into the system and kind of get a feedback. And I know my best days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and that's kind of aligned with what I've been talking about for the longest time. So excited to see how this week will play out. I probably won't take a trade on Monday just because of that very reason. I'm trying to limit my low probability days and setups, and I think I do better on those days. So let's go ahead and look at the charts. And as you can see, again, we talked a little bit about what could potentially be happening on dollar. And again, dollar long term, we've been in this consolidation range for pretty much the last year. I mean, it's like been a year and a half now. We've been in this chop. And one of the things that I've been saying is that, man, like because we've been in this chop with dollar, it's been really hard to draw on liquidity. We know our long term goal, which again, I mean, this could be through 2027, 2028. But our long term goal is really $89. And we know that's going to really affect the currency trades that we take. And so as a result, because of this chop, I have not been taking a ton of currency trades. I've really been focused on more NASDAQ and whatnot. Um, so again, we broke structure up here, and then we've been in a downtrend. I thought initially we were going to trade back up to this level here, but it looks like we're not. And so I do remember there is two major fair value gaps that we've been trading through, right, and respecting. Um, or formed, and we haven't really traded into them. There is also a third one here too that I will note because technically it's an inversion, but we did break back below that. So if we can't even get through, really stay above this one, then there's probably not a chance we're going to go up in here and higher. And we know the overall goal here is for us to essentially see the play break down and go lower anyway. So now that that's happened, I'm going to be really interested to see what happens next and how we are going to drive. And so from a weekly perspective, I'm really thinking about where is the closest draw on liquidity that we could run to. And if we are going to run bearish for the week, I could see us running here, taking this low out. I could also see us taking this low if we get a very expanded move. Probably not though. So I know my long-term goal is a lot lower, but um, you know, it could be basically a lot. It's gonna take a while to get down there. So essentially, what I'm looking for right now is to see if we can take this weekly level here, and then here secondary if we get an expanded run. We already opened the week up with a gap on the dollar, so I will be looking for this new week opening gap here and see how the market reacts to it. We've already traded through it, so Um, it's gonna be really interesting to watch. It's also gonna be interesting to watch the open because the open's gonna happen in about 20 minutes on the currency assets and the futures market. So what am I looking for? Again, I have a weekly target, and once this target gets taken, I'm usually done for the week. So looking there, potentially this low there, and then that low there at 97. So it's just a good way to break up the charts and kind of give yourself, perspective targets on the week. Let's go to Euro. I actually had a chance to run a test on Euro, and found out that um, actually trade Euro the best out of every asset class or every market. That includes Nasdaq, and so there's definitely a clear edge there. I teach a lot about New York continuation strategies and how to read the market to begin with, coming out of the Asian range. So there's a lot of good stuff there. Market opened up at 5 actually. Sorry, so the market is open right now technically. Oh wait, no, it's not. I'm sorry. The market opens up at 6. I should know that. So that is basically last week's price action in a nutshell. So really want to see what happens here. Again, had this new week opening gap. So I want to see what happens here. If I'm looking here, there's a couple levels that I'm interested in. If we are gonna keep running higher, I am interested in last week's high, which is only about 20 points out from where we're currently resting. Again, we've been in chop. We've been in chop for a while now, and so the range is not as big as it usually is. So our weekly high to low was only about, if I have this right, 70 points. That feels very low. Yeah, it was only like 80 points this entire. That's crazy. Um, so really interested to see what happens here. We did wick above these highs that we set, traded back in this range, kind of respecting this initial high. But really interested to see what happens here. At this point, we failed to take this low, so we do know there's some resting low resistance liquidity that's sitting there. So we'll look at GBP to see if we swept there to give us a better indication of whether the market wants to go higher. But as of right now, I mean, we're really in the middle of this range, this retrace. So we could turn around and go lower. We also could run higher, right? And so these are the worst places to be in the middle of a run because you're not really 100% sure. So what you want to see is the market really give us a continued bullish move. And honestly, like you can see here that the initial high was set. We really respected that. So it's going to be really interesting to see if we're waking through this to turn around and run lower. We'll know really on how we invert this. This is last week's weekly opening gap. But really, if we come through and break structure and take this level out like this, I'm just going to have this here. Just bearish if inverted. Then we'll know that the market wants to run lower. So as of right now, nothing. I got to stick with the bullish bias, but I don't like all the wicks that we've running into. So just hopefully GBP gives us a better understanding of the markets, and it does not. Because what the hell is that? That is the wrong chart. That's why. Okay. The same idea here. We actually took out this high, this respective high, and we're trading above it for now. So ideally, we got to stick with this bullish idea until the market tells us otherwise. We'll say, as we look at this wick too, I'm always looking at wicks and I'm looking at their respective highs and lows. See that we've failed to get through consequent encroachment of this wick for two consecutive 4 hour periods. So that could mean that the market's ready to reverse. Doesn't mean there's anything here that I would take an action on. We also have some low resistance liquidity right there that has not been set that initial high. It respected CE. We went up there again. Didn't take out the high. It still respected CE. This could be on its way for us to come back. Regardless here, if we're bullish, I do want to see the market do something like this, right? So really it just kind of depends on what we're looking at here. A lot of times we see these short choppy runs, the market tells us it's about to give up the ghost and go run lower. So really want to see how the market reacts when it trades back into this gap. Let's go to NQ. NQ is a very easy looking read. I wouldn't even be surprised if this took us out tomorrow. But so right now what we have here is the market has really been trading back up into this order block here. And you can see the market has been going against this bearish move, bearish idea that we had set out last week. So coming into these charts, we had a really massive Tuesday that caused us to really just kind of abandon any short ideas that we had coming into the week last week. Give me 1 second. Okay, so coming back here, so question in the chat. He said, "How long do you trade XAU USD?" I occasionally look at it. It's not like the best, like the biggest asset that I trade. I've been trading a decade, so a lot of the analysis here, I mean, a lot of this stuff is second nature to me at this point because I know exactly what I'm looking for, usually coming into the week. But yeah, so let's see. So yeah, so coming into the NQ again, there's a couple things here. We've been trading up against this order block, as you can see. The market's been tapping up against that. And then also we have this bearish fair value gap that's sitting right there, right? So ideally, what I want to see, and now that we've inverted this gap officially, I want to see the market continue to run through this and take this high on the way to higher highs. So what we could potentially be looking at here is, again, a situation where we run, take this high, and we just keep running. Like I'm bullish in the week, so maybe a small retracement back into the hour. Maybe we come back and take this low to start the week off. That would probably be the most ideal situation here. But again, we want to see this take the high. So if we look at ES, probably the same thing. Again, ES is showing a little bit of weakness in comparison. So again, we had a massive rally on Tuesday. I mean, there wasn't really a ton of opportunities to trade there, but just kind of is what it is. So ideally, I do want to see it take this high, but I need to see this invert. So we could see something similar like that. I mean, we could even see something drastic where we come and wick this and take that low. Again, thinking about opening up the week, if our target is buy side and our objective is buy side liquidity, where could we run to get sell side? Well, that's a very obvious level. We could even see us trade into this fair value gap right there again. Right, so there's just knowing the levels that we could potentially run to and seeing the bigger picture allows me to kind of not get, as crazy when the market starts making its moves. Let's look at YM too. YM is doing something totally different. Not as pressed about this one because long term I think we're still bullish, and that's the big thing here is that ES and NQ bullish, or ES and YM bullish. We still have a lot of low resistance liquidity that we could take here. Personally, I think we take the high. That's where I think we get back to. It's like 1,000 points out. I could definitely see us taking that this week. I do am keeping in mind this kind of like divergence here. And what I mean by that is that ES is trading, it took out all-time highs with that huge run that we had. But NQ didn't fail to do that. YM also went up. So also am paying attention to the fact that there, maybe we could turn over and go lower. Um, because of that divergence, meaning that we're holding the market from going higher because there's not liquidity up here to chase because maybe they think that it's gonna turn over and run lower. So gold is having a really good moment right now. So gold is actually kind of in line with euro too. So maybe this means that we keep running higher in euro. I outlined a bearish scenario, but technically we're still bullish. And I mean, it just as easily could go up. The problem with trading at the middle of a run or the equilibrium level is that you don't necessarily know 100% where it's going to go. And so right now I have to project the market's going to run higher on ES, but if this inverts, or I'm sorry, on pound, same thing here. And it's the same thing if we go to gold, right? Like it looks very bullish right now. After us trading around that wick for like the entire month of July, that's a really good sign. And I think we did close above this level here. We are trading back into this overall fair value gap and did respect consequent encroachment of that. So this could be a sweep to go lower, right? But we need to see if this is the 4 hour time frame, the daily time frame. We need to start seeing 1 hour breaks of structure and the market deciding that it wants to maybe sweep this high and then go lower. It's gonna let us know. So there's a lot here that I'm not necessarily privy to. I could also see us running up here and taking out some of these highs. But as of right now, again, the market is running higher. We are in this gap. So really, to be completely transparent, I would want to wait until the market retests this gap and rejects it. And then we can start to say like, okay, we'll head back up to this, what was this fail-safe level. But now, since we broke structure, there's probably more buy-side liquidity. So just being patient here. Again, currency trades, I mean, if you get 1 or 2 good trades in a week, that's good. NASDAQ is a lot more rapid, but that's also means there's a lot more nerves with it too. So again, I think that's all that we're really going to talk about today, but I'm looking more. Let me go to the comment section, see if anybody else is here. Nobody else is here. So again, I'm keeping these records for me. Look at Japanese yen. There's a lot of wicks here. These relative equal highs sitting right there. I did say that we would take potentially a high and run lower, but if you look at this, the weekly time frame. And again, the reason I jumped to the weekly time frame is because I'm trying to project the weekly move, right? And if I can understand potentially where the move is going to go for the week, then we can probably get a better understanding of these levels here. And like this is another level that like I just think is bullish because we have these relative equal highs up here. This is yen or 6J. We have this inversion of this fair value gap, and this just feels like the market wants to continue to run higher. But we also swept these levels too, so it's gonna be really interesting to see. Maybe retest this level here. The good thing I do like about currencies, and I'll say this, every so many months, is that when you trade currencies, if you're wrong for the day, usually you know because it's going to be one trend. There's not going to be too much chop intraday. It just might not be, if the chop is happening in the bigger time frames, it just might not be a crazy big run. But at least you know very quickly if you're going to be right or wrong for the day. Whereas, NASDAQ is a lot more, the payoff is better, but there's a lot more twists and turns that go with it. So you could run liquidity and then it could shoot up 100 points and make you think that that's where it's going for the day, and it's not. So it just takes a lot more patience. Let's say this is my fail-safe level. Going back to gold. So yeah, I think that's about it though. Again, so if we think back to dollar, very much bullish. Very much bullish, especially now that we ripped through this level here. I want to see if we can take this. So, in theory, it does line up with a bullish euro. Same thing here. I'm cautiously watching these levels because we did sweep some highs. So, I want to see what's going on here. So, now that we swept this high, do we trade lower and then go higher? 6B, again, bullishness. I want to see the market run higher. This week, I actually like pound more than I like euro because the higher time frame view is a little less like you have these gaps, you have this imbalance here, so the market is really respecting this level. So it's been there for the entire week basically. So I wouldn't be surprised if we turned around and went lower, but also that'll line up there too. So same thing here. You can see the market has been respecting these lows. We swept this level there. So again, would I be surprised if we turned around and went higher? No, but as of right now, this is where like I could see us running back up into this fair value gap that's right here at consequent encroachment and then dropping. Let me just look at euro. Same thing, right? We could run back into that level there and then go higher. Let me look at one last thing, which is the divergence. June, July, June, July, yeah. So nothing really there. The overall picture on bearish on GBP is choppy though, and euros it's a little bit easier to read. It's a little bit easier to read big long term, and that's what we're doing here. So again, I'm sticking with bullishness on these until they give me some other reason not to, and that would be something like a break in market structure on the 1 hour time frame, or just stalling out. So then again, NQ bullish, ES bullish. I would say the market has to take out this low and close way below it for me to really be satisfied. The market wants to run lower. Um, and then gold, right? Same idea. Gold is bullish to me. I, in a perfect world, I want to see this invert retest and then go higher. Um, I know we don't always get that, just because I'm kind of nervous that we could. The only reason we came up here was to sweep this high and then go right back down. So we'll see though. Again, this is all I got for you guys. If you're not in the chat, please, please, please use the links. Get in the chat. I drop a lot of good stuff in there throughout the week, and hopefully you find some value in that. Tony, what's going on, man? Hopefully everything's been good with you. Um, but yeah, again, so dollar, 6 pound or 6B, you know, a dollar bearish. Um, oh, the market just opened up. There it goes. Let's look at euro. What did I say? I said I want to see the market potentially trade back into this. So, and then if we take out and close below this, like we close below and break below this structure, then we're most likely bearish. So just being careful. So hopefully you guys get some value out of this. And, if you have any questions, please hit me up. Rewatch this a couple times. So again, it's the same logic every week in and week out, just applying it to new market conditions. So we'll be watching this. And like I said, I will be watching gold too, because I think this is a really interesting one. Since we took that low and we really reversed off of it, I wouldn't be surprised if we keep running higher. I'm really looking at this high right here, these two, because I know there's going to be buy side sitting above them. But it has to add up. Has to add up. So that's all I got for you guys. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can definitely see it happen too, Tony. I think it's just the one thing that's worrying about me, or the one thing I'm worried about me, the one thing I'm worried about is just this sweep, right? So we took out this high here, right there. We grabbed that buy side right there. But look how that buy side lines up with the consequent encroachment of this gap, and then also just the high right there too, right? And we've been wicking off of this. So in theory, I want to see this run higher, right? But I don't want to get caught in a position where I keep trying to chase the long and it comes back down here and breaks structure and it's actually going to go run lower. So all of this is fair game for an opportunity, to find bullish opportunities to go long, especially since we're trading under the low of the week, right? And we want to take it to the high of the week. But if we start breaking structure on this 4 hour time frame, that's when I got to shift the idea and probably call it a week if I'm on bullishness, and either A, try to find the opportunity to adjust, or B, just take the loss for the week. So, um, but yeah, I guess that's pretty good. So that's all I got for you guys. Um, you can always hit me in the chat if you need anything, and let's go from there. Peace.